Good afternoon, class.
Good afternoon.
Oh, we could do a little bit better than that. Good afternoon, class.
Good afternoon.
Oh, excellent. Well, today we got a very busy day. All right, we're going to continue our lecture on World War I. But before we do that, we have our 5-minute lesson. All right, if you guys go ahead and go to the next slide, because unfortunately our projector is not working today, but with the use of our own personal tablets, we're able to follow along with the PowerPoint I sent you guys. So today, on our 5-minute lesson, or excuse me, our 5-minute warm-up, we have 2 images. Your job is to write down what these 2 images represent. You have 5 minutes. Please begin. All right, it looks like the majority of you are finished. So by raising your hand, please tell me what the very first image represents. Alyssa.
Militarism and nationalism.
Excellent. Now remind the class and myself what militarism is.
I'll let you take
No? Eric, can you help her out, please?
I'll help her out.
Yes, militarism, please.
Militarism is a policy of glorifying military power, keeping an army prepared for war.
That is correct. If you recall, yesterday we discussed how major European powers had a race to arms to build the most powerful army in Europe. Can somebody, by raising your hand, give me an example of militarism? A certain country. Eric.
When Germany, their leader Kaiser Wilhelm II, wanted to show the world their strength.
Very good, yes. The militarism took over Germany, and that got the rest of Europe very worried. All right, the second image. Someone raise your hand and tell me what's going on in that political cartoon. Alyssa again.
It's showing the different alliances and one of the reasons why World War I started.
That is correct. If you recall, yesterday we covered many reasons why World War I began, but alliances was a key reason why. Now, if you look at that political cartoon, we see various figures. The very first guy, the little guy, is Serbia. All right? Serbia wanted to break away from the Austro-Hungarian Empire, which is the next guy holding his elbow. Right behind Serbia is a Russian dude. Now, Russians was a Slavic nation, and Serbia was also a Slavic nation, so they were allies. Right behind Russia, we have a German dude grabbing onto the Russian. All right, Germany was allied with Austrian-Hungarian Empire, so of course, once the Russians were attacking them, Germany had their back. And in the distance, we have a British dude and a Frenchman running after Germany because they allied with Russia. Very good. Now, if you go to the next slide, we're going to get into our lecture for today. Eric, can you please read what you're going to be doing today? Students will be able to, the first
Students
bullet point.
will be able to analyze the effects of the First World War and examine the principal leaders of battle, major turning points and importance of geographic factors in military decisions and power.
That is correct. So basically what we're going to be doing today is covering battles. All right? Everything that has to deal with that. Last couple days we've been covering the political aspect of it. Today we're going to get to the juicy part of World War I. Next slide, please. So the title of this slide, we have The Great War Begins. All right, key words that I need you guys to write down as well that we're going to be going over. First one is Central Powers. Next one, Allied Powers. Followed by the Western Front. Next will be the Schlieffen Plan. Yes, Schlieffen Plan there, Eric. Next will be the Eastern Front, followed by No Man's Land. And last but not least, we're going to be covering trench warfare. Once you get that down, go ahead and go to the next slide, please. So it's quite a mess. We talked about the last couple days about the Austrian-Hungarian prince, Franz Ferdinand, getting assassinated by a Serbian national. That was sort of the tipping point that caused World War I. All right? So we have familiar faces, but new places. We talked about the Triple Alliance. It is now called the Central Powers. All right? That consists of Germany, the Austrian and Hungarian Empire, Bulgaria, which is a small Eastern European nation, and later the Ottoman Empire, which is now Turkey. And then the Triple Entente, all right, funny word, but is now called the Allied Powers, which consist of Great Britain, France, Russia, Italy, and Japan and the United States will join later. Next slide, please. So today we're going to be talking about various battles, and during World War II there's two fronts. Fronts are basically battle lines. If you look at the map, we have the Western Front, which is located near the French and German border, and then we have the Eastern Front, which is located near the German and Russian border. You see that, Eric?
Sure do.
Excellent. All right. Today we're going to focus mainly on the Western Front, and tomorrow we'll take over the Eastern Front. Next slide, please. So the Western Front, it stretched from Belgium all the way down through Switzerland to Italy. On the Western Front, the main players involved, all right, we had a lot of other nations involved, but the main ones that we're going to focus on are the Brits, the French, and they took on the Germans. All right? On the Western Front, Schlieffenplan. This is one of your key words, so make sure you're paying attention. Schlieffenplan. Eric, can you please read the definition of the Schlieffenplan?
Yes, I can, Mr. Halstetter. I'm not going to attempt the word, but
Schlieffen.
Schlieffen.
Excellent.
It's a German battle strategy named after the designer, General Alfred Graf von Schlieffen.
Excellent.
That would defeat the French quickly in the west in order to catch and defeat the Russian army before they reached the Eastern Front, which is the German-Russian.
Excellent. So if you go back to the previous slide to the map, all right, Germany is fighting a two-front war. All right, on the Western Front, they got the French and the British to worry about, and on the other side, they have the Russians to worry about. This is not good. They're sandwiched. So, one of their top generals came up with the Schlieffen Plan. Let's go back to the regular slide. And this plan was hopes to avoid such problems, to hopefully defeat the French quickly in the west, so they could focus all their attention to the east with a much larger and stronger Russian army. Next slide, please. So today, we're going to be going over 4 key battles on the Western Front. There are many more, but we're going to focus on these 4. All right? The first one is the First Battle of Marne in 1914. All right? This took place in northern France, just outside of Paris. All right? This is one of the very first battles, and the German Schlieffen Plan was working. They were only 30 minutes outside of Paris, so they were moving quickly, thinking they were going to take over and end the Western Front. So the outcome, all right, is an Allied victory. This stopped the German advancement, The Schlieffen Plan failed, and now Germany was fighting a two-front war. Exactly what they did not want. All right, next battle will be the Battle of Ypres, 1914 through 1918. This happened in Belgium. All right, it included Allied powers, so we had the French and British fighting the Germans. Outcome, this was also known as the Race to the Sea. It consisted of 5 battles. All right, the first battle was a stalemate, so not a big outcome. Second battle, all right, was a very big German offensive. This is where poisonous gases were first introduced to modern warfare. Eventually, the Allied powers, thanks to the USA when they joined after 1917, beat the German forces. Next slide, please. Go ahead, stop.